And without knowing it, she was injecting herself daily with the strongest and possibly the most androgenic steroid of all time. This is literally the definition of androgenic. Hi folks, it's Uranus from Brussels. Welcome to another weird ass video. Today we're talking about a woman who completely destroyed her body. She wanted to gain a bit of muscle left and right in the gym. She started taking steroids and unfortunately got addicted to the muscle building effects. She started taking more and more and eventually ended up looking and sounding like a man, both up here and down there. So let's look at where it all went wrong for Candice. So Candice Armstrong, a former barmaid, had body dysmorphia. She wanted to work on her body and feel better, so she joined the gym, but she quickly got frustrated by the lack of progress and the time it took to actually build muscle. It takes years to transform your body, years of discipline and dieting. So while a fellow gym fanatic suggested steroids, she took the shortcut and went for it. What started out as a good idea quickly turned into obsession and addiction. This is what she looked like before taking steroids. She was 28 years old. The story is already from a couple of years ago. Now this is what she looked like 2 years after starting steroids. I must say this is one of the most dramatic transformations I've ever seen, and I don't mean this in a good way. I have to admit, if I was in the gym and she would come up to ask me if my bench was free, I would be a little bit intimidated. She gave a couple of interviews to magazines, and according to her own testimony, she got addicted to daily injections of the steroid called Trenbolone. And I seriously never understood why people don't do any research before taking something, especially if you have to inject it in your ass. Do some research. The very first time I took creatine, which is one of the safest and most legal supplements out there, I literally studied the thing for weeks, maybe months before taking it. Here, she barely knew anything. She worked out for a couple of months, and without knowing it, she was injecting herself daily with the strongest and possibly the most androgenic steroid of all time. This is literally the definition of androgenic side effect. She developed a much deeper voice and now sounds like a man. This can actually happen to women when they're taking testosterone or other androgenic compounds. The voice is lowering and you can actually end up sounding like a man. She messed up her skin and now has oily skin and acne. She probably smelled like a man too because of the increase in DHT, and she had to start to shave. Can you imagine as a woman having to start to shave off your shoulders, your back, or your belly, or God knows, maybe her face too, you know? As a woman, her shoulders and her back are completely overdeveloped and out of proportion. Her breasts have completely shrunk and are almost non-existent in front of those massive chest muscles that she developed. And on top of that, her genitals have grown to a point where she states that her clitoris now looks like a tiny little penis. All of the side effects I just mentioned, unfortunately, are completely irreversible. There is no way back. And the worst part of it is, despite her basically mutating her body and growing her female genitals to the point where it looks like a small penis, she refused to stop. Just imagine that. She hated her body before and she had body dysmorphia, and now she hates her body even more, but she cannot stop because she's addicted to the muscle building effects of these steroids. She said it herself in an interview. Now I look like a man and I hate it. Even my mother has told me I'm not pretty anymore. Not a very nice mother, by the way. Despite all these changes and her sexual organs being deformed for the rest of her life, she still continued and said it's too late to stop anyway. I don't think she was aware of what would happen to her before starting all of this. She also said her sex drive completely disappeared and men no longer have an interest in her. Her hatred of her former body is what drove her into taking steroids and into getting addicted to it. I also really wonder who the hell the idiot is who recommended to her that she would take Trenbolone, you know? I mean, I don't think she was taking steroids before and she went straight to Trenbolone. It's one of the most androgenic and anabolic compounds out there. It's literally the strongest stuff that you can get. It's like going out for the first time and you drink a bottle of absinthe. That is not going to end well, you know. It's just a little bit sad, and it's not a case of body dysmorphia gone wrong. Now you might think that this is a special case or that this is unique, but it actually isn't. A lot of people suffering from body dysmorphia end up taking steroids, hoping to achieve a better body and a body that they like more, but in the end they are never happy. And I see this with my own eyes week after week. I literally know a lot of gym buddies who have amazing male bodies, probably better outside of the gym. Probably 99% of men would be jealous of them because their body looks so nice, but in their head they still think they look like excrements and feel like shit about themselves. They end up taking ridiculous amounts of steroids, more and more putting their health at risk for a little bit more muscle, but they always end up feeling like shit. Body dysmorphia can really mess with your life, and I know what I'm talking about. I'm talking from my own experience too. Coming back to Candice, we didn't talk about the mental side effects of taking these compounds, because Trenbolone can have a really tremendous and profound effect on your mental health. She is now much more short-tempered and she developed anger issue. Also, we didn't talk about the fact that Trenbolone is especially bad for your liver, your heart, your kidneys and your other organs, and you kind of need those for longevity, you know. The bottom line is, if you're a woman and you're not competing, stay the hell away from steroids, or at least stay the hell away from anything that is too androgenic. I seriously do not understand why people don't do more research before taking something. Once you develop these masculine features as a woman, there is no way back, and it's just not worth it for a little bit of muscles. The positive side out of this story is that Candy is super open about what she took, what she did, and so sharing her story is helping other people learn not to make the same mistakes. Alright, that was it for today's video. And by the way, I have no experience myself whatsoever with taking Trenbolone. I never took the stuff in my life. I've never even seen it, but I like to do research on a lot of things. Ending it here. Leave me a comment to support my channel. Subscribe if you like my content. I'll catch you on the next one. Thank you for watching. Uranus out.